Hey guys, it is CJ and we are back for another episode review of Love After Lockup. And today we are going to talk about season 3, episode 9, titled Bat Out of Hell. Y'all, I am so excited about this episode because we get to revisit our OG cast. And they got some stuff with them this season. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, we start the episode with Angela. And Angela's recording from the bathroom. And obviously by this time, the Rona has made its way to Clarksdale, Mississippi, where she is. And because she's recording from like a cell phone camera inside of her bathroom, and she's in there smoking a cigarette as usual. And she lets us know that she has not talked to Tony, and it's been about 4 months since she's seen him. And she appeared to be getting ready. I don't know if she was getting ready for work or maybe not, because at this point, a lot of people were working from home or off work due to the pandemic. But her sister, Faye, comes to see her. Tammy Faye? Faye? She called her Faye, so we're going to call her Faye. She comes to see her and she brings her like a few things, some groceries or something. And they're social distancing, consciously social distancing to one another, which is good. So they're together and they're kind of talking, and Angela lets her sister know that she is kind of longing for intimacy. And her sister is worried because she feels like this will be a reason for Angela to call Tony back. Her sister is absolutely happy that Tony is out of her life for the time being, because she never liked him, as we saw from previous seasons, and rightfully so, because Tony is no good for Angela, but Angela just does not seem to be able to get over old Tony. So Faye just thinks that she also believes that the pandemic is probably the only thing that is keeping Tony away, because if they were not required to kind of stay away from people at this time, she probably would have let Tony back a long time ago. And we all know that that's probably the case. So she's kind of thankful, Faye is, she's thankful for Rona being around at this time. Angela tells Faye that she's considering getting another pen pal, which she does not need, but she just says that she lacks, she longs for the intimacy, and it's not necessarily sex or physical presence. I guess she just wants a man around to kind of whisper sweet nothings in her ear. Then we go on to Michael and Sarah. We start out the episode with Michael going into a bathroom, and he sits on the floor, and Maria is shortly behind, outside of the door, asking him what he's doing. And he tells her he's taking a shower, but he's really not taking a shower. He snuck into the bathroom so that he could call Sarah to talk to the girls. Well, he calls Sarah, and Sarah is folding clothes, and she's just kind of entertaining the conversation. And so she's like, "So why'd you call? Did you just call to talk to the girls?" "Well, yeah, why else would he call?" And she's like, "Well, they're not here. They're with their grandma, and I'm getting ready for work." And so she then tells him that the youngest daughter's birthday is coming up, her first birthday, and that she is inviting him to the party if he wants to come. He says he'll be there. We don't know. But he also says in his confessional that Sarah really, seems to be trying to keep him away from his daughters, and that he's not going to allow her to do so. No female is going to keep him away from his daughters. The only thing that could keep him away from them is jail, and that's not going to happen. But he did mention that Maria has gotten much, much, much more jealous since they left New York with that big blow up and altercation in front of the hotel last season. And since then, I guess now she knows that he and Sarah had sex while he went over there to supposedly see his children that night. So now she probably does feel extra pressed when it comes to Sarah because she knows that Michael will probably lay down with her any opportunity that he gets. So then we move on to Andrea and Lamar. They are back, and they are moving to LA, Watts to be exact. Last season they voted and they decided that the family did not want to stay in Utah. Andrea was outvoted. They wanted to move to LA. So they are there. They're unpacking, and Andrea is freaking out because of the area that they live in. They live in Watts, and she hears police sirens, and she just feels like it's just riddled with violence, and it's not a good environment for her family to be raised in. Lamar says that it's fine because it's just temporary, and that he is gonna do what's necessary to get them the house that Andrea wants eventually. But for now, I mean, they got to make do. And I got a feeling that this season, Andrea is going to go on and on and on about where they live and that this would never happen in Utah. She's going to really beat a dead horse about this subject, and it's going to drive me absolutely crazy. But I like Lamar, so I'm going to probably have to deal with it because he is the only thing that makes their storyline bearable to me. Now, she kept saying how they're in the ghetto and that, she just kept making these like disrespectful statements about, I guess, the best situation that they have right now. And it's really gonna get on my nerves. But something else that I wanted to point out, that her daughter's hair is so much better this season. I'm pretty sure between social media and her friends and everybody else, they probably encouraged her to get a better unit or something, because her hair looked great this season. And that's how it should look, because she's a pretty girl, and whether she wear her hair natural or if you're going to wear weave, it needs to blend in with your natural hair. But it looks very nice this season, so I'm proud of her. Now, it was a really weird scene because Andrea got mad at Lamar about where they live, and she went and got in the car, and she got in the car with her daughter, and they started praying. Like, they were praying while Lamar was bonding with the son, putting racks together for the bedroom. But that was a strange scene. And I don't really know what to say about Andrea. We know Andrea is Looney Tunes, so she's gonna bring it. Then we get to Marcelino and Brittany. Their segment starts in the delivery room. Why? Because Brittany was asleep, or she may not have been asleep, I'm not sure, but she started experiencing contractions, and they started getting closer and closer together. So they brought her to the hospital, and it appeared to be Marcelino and Brittany's mom. They brought her to the hospital where they found out that she was already 3 centimeters dilated. So they kept her. They're going to break her water, and she's going to hopefully deliver a healthy baby. So they're there, and Marcelino talks about how he hopes that Brittany's mom can stay clean for the sake of she and Brittany's relationship, because Brittany has let us know in the past that her parents were addicts, and they often left her to raise herself, and they abandoned her in a lot of situations. And so now she's clean and hopefully can stay clean and be there for Brittany, her husband, and her grandchildren. So then we go back to Sarah, who tells us that when Michael was there the last time, he spent the night at her house before that big fight, when they slept together, that they were unprotected and that she had a pregnancy scare. Luckily, she is not pregnant, because she does not need a third child with Michael. That they barely need the two that they have together. But a third would just make matters even worse. But luckily, she wasn't pregnant. And she tells us that now she's dating again. And she's seeing a guy that lives 4 hours away. And he comes to see her. And he seems to be a really nice guy. They meet at a restaurant and they're eating. And she invites him to her baby girl's first birthday party. And he's asking, is your family going to be there? And she's like, yeah, everybody's going to be there. And he's like, you don't think it's too soon? And Sarah does not think it's too soon. And she does feel like it's time for him to be introduced to her family. She feels they're serious enough. And she lets him know also that Michael was invited and may be there. She doesn't know because Michael, you can't be too sure, he may or may not come. So bruh seemed a little worried because he knows that Michael has been to prison and he seems to be more of a lover than a fighter. So he's just kind of like, well, do you think he's gonna try to fight me? And she's like, I don't know, he might. She's just kind of keeping it real with him because she knows that Michael can be a loose cannon, especially if he finds out that there is a new guy that she plans to bring around their daughters. But he tried to do the same thing with both Megan and Maria. So he doesn't really have room to judge, her love life. So they decide that it'll probably be best for the two of them to meet before they get to such a setting as a birthday party, because she doesn't want it to be ruined if Michael comes in hot or ready to fight. She doesn't want that to be the experience. So then we see John. Well, we don't see John and Lacey. We see Lacey. Lacey's getting ready and she's in her car and she has texted Sean and Shane, that she wants to meet up. So they meet up and she hasn't talked to him since she put him out last season when she brought John with her and they put him out and just made a fool of him on TV. So he's been staying in a hotel. He's been working the job that he was working. He's been staying in a hotel ever since, though, because he didn't have anywhere else to go. And Lacey's telling him that, they need to now she feels like they need to start honoring the vows that they made when they got married. And he's confused because he's kind of like, what do you mean? I've been staying in this hotel, while you've been cheating with John, what's up? What's up with that? And she's like, well, John is in jail. Yep. John has gotten locked up again. Why? Oh, because he and Lacey decided to hit a strip club one night. And I guess he was getting a little too friendly with another woman at the club. I don't know if it was a stripper or just a patron. But anyway, Lacey left and she goes home. John gets there. Lacey starts acting a fool on him in good old Lacey fashion. And they get to fighting, I suppose. She calls the cops. Next thing you know, they're locking his ass back up. So yeah, he's back in jail. And he feels like he was set up. I don't know how you were set up because you knew when you got home that it was going to be some smoke. So you probably should not have gone. You probably should have just stayed with whoever you were frolicking with at the club. But hey, whatever. He's locked back up. So Shane kind of feels like she may just be trying to use me. She's lonely. John's gone. So now I feel like when I come back, he gets out, she's going to do the same thing to me again. And she claims that, no, I'm over him. I was just hanging out with him because of what you did. And he cheated on her before they got married. Not to say that it was good either way, but she made such a big deal out of it I think that she wanted a reason to leave him in the first place, but now she sees that he's somewhat being stable because he's still working, and he hasn't gotten back into trouble or anything. So I think that she feels like he should be able to come back home. So they hug and kiss, and I guess they decide that they're going to have a fresh start. So we then go back to Angela's house. And who shows up? Tony. Tony pulls up in his SUV, and he tells us that, yes, life without Angela sucks. I bet it does suck, because you don't have somebody taking care of you. You don't have somebody, I'm sure she was paying his cell phone bill and everything else. You're not being kept anymore. So I'm absolutely sure that it sucks. And I believe he said he had been staying at the hotel also, the hotel he works at, or motel that he works at. And he just believes that if he can just get Angela to see him, because she won't take his calls from my understanding, and she won't see him. So she's been kind of holding strong to not being around Tony. And I think she knew also that she needed to stay away and cease contact with him, because that was the only way that she would be able to get over him. So he pops up with cigarettes as a peace offering. Now we know Angela loves her cigarettes like a fat kid loves cake. Every scene we see, Angela is smoking a cigarette. And if she's not smoking a cigarette, we're kind of like, what's happening? What's wrong? So he shows up, and she greets him with the baseball bat. And she's like, Tony, who told you to show up to my house? He just popped up. And so she was kind of pissed because he came unannounced, first of all. And then, with everything going on at this point, as far as this pandemic, she doesn't know where you've been or who you've been around. So she really didn't want you in her presence. But he just shows up like everything's gonna be copacetic, and it was not. Angela was cussing at him. She was going off. So hopefully she can keep this same energy, but something is telling me that she is gonna fold. And then we open up the next segment with a musical selection by Baby Nuck and Priscilla LaBelle. Now I take it that the Priscilla LaBelle they're talking about in this song titled Too Much Swag is Andrea and Lamar's Priscilla. I guess she's gonna be a chip off the block, and she's gonna take after her dad, who is also an aspiring rapper. Y'all got any of Lamar's music? If y'all do, let me know in the comments if it's bumping or not. But they're taking her to a dance lesson, and Lamar decided to accompany Andrea. And Andrea is saying how she was surprised that he came. And Lamar kind of checks her like, wait a minute, don't try and make it seem like I'm a deadbeat dad or something. He was like, I'm present. And she couldn't really say anything behind that. She didn't have much rebuttal, because we do know that all of those kids are absolutely crazy about Lamar. And Lamar seems to be an awesome father. But she then brings up to him that, with everything going on in the ghetto, where we live, I don't think that the children will be able to resist. Like, they're just going to get engulfed in the violence around them. And she feels like Priscilla needs to be baptized. She needs to be covered in the blood of Jesus, because she makes it sound like she's going to die if she doesn't. And that's going to be the only thing that will save her in Watts. So we know Lamar, we know how he feels about the Mormon religion. He is not here for it, and he let that be known to both Andrea and all of her Mormon friends up in Utah. And she insists that they raise Priscilla as a Mormon, but Lamar is not feeling that at all. And so he says that he doesn't believe that she needs to be baptized under Mormon beliefs. And he's not sure if she really needs to be baptized at all, because he does not want her to be raised as a Mormon. So they're going to clash when it comes to that, because Andrea is all about her faith, and they are going to really, really bump heads when it comes to that, because Lamar also seems to stand firm in his belief as well. So we'll see how that goes. Then lastly, we go back to the delivery room. And at this point, Brittany is ready to push. They are ready to bring the baby into this world. Mom is excited because it's Mom's birthday, and Brittany is going to give her a grandchild on her birthday. So she seems really excited about it. And Marcelino kind of reflects on how far they've come from when Brittany was first released from jail to now. And, 2 kids later, plus getting Giovanni back from Tito, they have really built this family life, and he's kind of proud of it, as he should be. Now, Brittany does a little grunting and pushing, and boom, the baby is here. They have a beautiful bouncing baby boy, and they named him Marciano. That's a pretty cute name. And later we see Marcelino, he goes to get the baby girl and Giovanni, and they come and they get to meet their baby brother, and it is just so cute. It's the cutest thing. That little boy is so sweet. So they all are kind of, embracing the new baby and this new life. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. I tried to keep this as short as I possibly could. I know as their storylines go on, the videos may get longer, but if there was anything that I forgot, y'all know to leave it down in the comment box below. Also, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I will be putting out all the Love After Lockup / Life After Lockup content, because this is my favorite reality show. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I also hope that y'all have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.